Time now for the morning rush. The jury trial is scheduled to begin today for the dad accused of forcing his 7-year-old daughter into prostitution. Now, you may remember that James Stewart was arrested along with the girl's mother last year. School officials say they found signs of abuse on the girl, and the girl told investigators that Stewart had her performing sex acts in exchange for drugs. The trial today for the charges that include human trafficking and abuse of a child. Kristen.
Next big weather maker is still about 4 to 5 days out, so we're looking at mostly sunny skies across the state. Plenty of sunshine with just some high clouds here and there. Quiet overnight. Tomorrow looks to be about the same with the sunniest skies and warmer temperatures to follow. David?
President Trump leaves for Vietnam today, where he will hold a second summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The two first met 8 months ago in Singapore, where they signed a vague document promising to work towards the denuclearization of the Korean peninsula. Now, yesterday at the White House, the president said he's in no rush as long as there is no nuclear weapons testing. Back here in New Mexico, 2 men accused of leading Bernalillo County deputies on a chase will likely soon face a judge. This morning, they wake up behind bars. According to BCSO, Derek Garcia and Dominic Marquez were allegedly driving a stolen car near Isleta and Goff on Saturday. Deputies say they approached and the duo took off, nearly hitting the deputies. Now, they say a deputy fired at least one shot, hitting the vehicle. A new survey names New Mexico as the state with the most overworked police officers, but APD says it's not accurate. A survey from Safewise looked at factors like crimes per officer and officers per 1,000 people, but officials say the survey is flawed because the data used is from 2017. APD announced that they now have 900 sworn-in officers. Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham is speaking out against President Trump's border policy while defending her own border decision. In an interview on Face the Nation, Governor Lujan Grisham defended her decision to pull New Mexico troops from the border. New Mexico is one of more than a dozen states involved with lawsuits to stop the national emergency declaration. The Red Cross is now stepping in, helping those displaced because of this fire right here that you can see. It destroyed several units at a northeast Albuquerque apartment complex. AFR says the fire broke out on the 3rd story of the Alta Vista apartments. They say some 3rd story units were charred and 6 units below have water damage. Now, it's still under investigation and no one was hurt. We expect to learn more about a southeast Albuquerque homicide, including if police have a suspect. APD says they were responding to a neighborhood near San Mateo and Gibson. This is for a suspicious person call. Now, the caller led them to a man wrapped in a blanket and bleeding in a parking lot. Police have not released the victim's name. Well, the House could soon take up a bill that would legalize recreational marijuana use here in New Mexico. House Bill 356 would make it legal for anyone over 21 to possess up to 2 ounces of pot and grow up to 6 mature plants in their home. The bill allows cities to prohibit sales, but not ban use or plant growing in private homes. Meanwhile, the Senate is expected to take up a bill making sure that gross receipts tax revenue from the national labs will not be lost. That bill passing in the House, the group that took over Los Alamos National Lab is made up of 3 nonprofits. New Mexico nonprofits are currently exempt from paying gross receipts taxes, but Senate Bill 11 removes this exemption. A bill creating an ethics commission is moving on to committee now. House Bill 4 would create ethics commissions that would give them subpoena power to obtain evidence and force witnesses to testify. The bill would allow the commission to investigate compliance with state laws. Voters approved the creation of the ethics commission back in November. A memorial to build a national museum dedicated to the New Deal is set to get a full vote in the House soon. The New Deal was a series of work programs and art initiatives aimed at pulling America from the Great Depression. This is more than 80 years ago. Now, New Mexico Democrat lawmakers ask the state to consider creating a new New Deal art museum. It will be located on Santa Fe's Museum Hill. New at 6 this morning, the Albuquerque School Board is expected to meet today about the budget. That meeting will likely include ways to reprioritize spending. This comes after voters rejected the district's proposal for hundreds of millions of dollars. This would pay for school projects. We will let you know if the board makes any adjustments. This morning, people across the Midwest and in the South are continuing to pick up the pieces after a deadly weekend storms. More than 100 vehicles were involved in deadly crashes in Wisconsin amid whiteout conditions. Now, a tornado in northeastern Mississippi killed 1 woman, and a man died after driving into floodwaters in Tennessee. Kristen.
Metro Threat Index only at a 1. We have none of that sort here in New Mexico today. It's just going to be mostly sunny skies, some chilly temperatures to start in the 20s and 30s, but this afternoon 50s with light winds. David?
Expo New Mexico is now in the final stages of conducting a study on the construction of a new arena on the state fairgrounds. Now, that study is looking at building an arena that can seat 15,000 people with state-of-the-art technology, including the right ceiling height and more. This will be all to attract top-tier performers. Officials say the study will be done in a few months. It will then be presented to the city of Albuquerque. New this morning, Santa Fe police are helping the homeless stay warm this winter. This is all through a new program called Code Blue. 2 firefighters participating in the pilot program told the New Mexican they will drive around offering rides to nearby shelters. If the rides are declined, they say they will then be handing out sleeping bags and hand warmers. Plans are now underway for a new Meow Wolf location that's happening in Phoenix, Arizona. Officials say construction will begin in the next few years. Meow Wolf says Phoenix location will be in the form of a 400-room hotel. The hotel will also include a large exhibition space, and a concert venue. The New Mexico State Aggies, they are waking up and looking ahead towards the Western Athletic Conference tournament this morning, and that will begin on March 13th. Now, this comes after beating the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. The Aggies beat the Vaqueros 88-79, clinching them the top spot for the upcoming tournament. Now, the Aggies are now 12-1 in conference play. Kristen.
Time now for a check on that Monday morning commute. Nothing major out there. No major crashes or slowdowns to report to you at this hour. We have a live look outside. Everything seems to be moving smoothly at the Big I this morning.
Well, this morning, all the talk is about Hollywood's biggest night. Green Book took home the Oscar for the Best Picture at the 91st Annual Academy Awards. Now, Bohemian Rhapsody's Rami Malek won Best Actor for his portrayal of Queen frontman Freddie Mercury. Olivia Colman won Best Actress for her role as Queen Anne in The Favorite. And Alfonso Cuarón won Best Director for his work on Roma.
Time now 6:53 on your Monday morning. If you're just getting ready for the day, no need for the rain gear. We're going to be talking sunny skies from here through the later half of the afternoon. The only thing you'll really have to worry about will be those cold temperatures this morning in the 20s and 30s. But once we get that sun up, we're going to be looking at warming temperatures to about 54 today. Those winds will be light. No problems at all with that forecast today. We take you now to the 5 facts and begin with number 5. The Lobo baseball team off to a winning season, waking up winners even this morning after beating Niagara University at home. The Lobos beat the Purple Eagles 13-3 in the first and 7-4 in the second for yesterday's matchup. This win puts them at 5-3 in the overall season so far. Their next game is on the road in Tucson, Arizona, where they will take on Arizona University. First pitch for that game set to be thrown at 6 p.m.
At number 4, officials with the State Fair say they are now in the final stages of a new study to build a new arena at the fairgrounds. Now, they hope this will draw in bigger entertainment acts to the metro. The new venue will likely accommodate 15,000 people. Now, once the study is complete, it will then go to the city of Albuquerque, but then ultimately end up on the governor's desk. At
number 3, 7-day forecast shows the sunshine is here to stay. That storm track well toward north, meaning dry conditions for the next few to several days. At the earliest, Four Corners could get some showers Thursday night, but Albuquerque will have to wait till possibly Sunday for a spot shower. Winds look to be an issue Thursday into Friday, but the temperatures, no problems. 50s and 60s here in the Duke City.
At number 2, the House bill that would legalize recreational use of marijuana in New Mexico is waiting to be heard on the House floor. House Bill 356 would make it legal for anyone over 21 to possess up to 2 ounces of pot and grow up to 6 mature plants in their home. Now, the bill allows cities to prohibit sales but not ban use or plant growing in private homes. The Senate version of this bill does not allow for homegrown marijuana. That bill has a few more Senate committees to get through before heading to the floor for a vote. And at number 1 this morning, the jury trial is scheduled to begin today for James Stewart. He is the dad accused of forcing his 7-year-old daughter into prostitution. You may remember James Stewart was arrested along with the girl's mother last year. Now, staff at the girl's school believe that they found signs of abuse, and the girl told investigators that Stewart had her performing sex acts in exchange for drugs. Now, on Friday, a grand jury indicted Stewart on 3 new human trafficking charges. A jury trial is scheduled to get underway for the other charges that include human trafficking and abuse of a child.